here with Rooted in Love Urban Homestead. Thanks so much for hanging out with me a bit today. We're going to talk about how to make fermented garlic. So you may be thinking to yourself, why in the world do I want to ferment garlic? Well, fermented garlic makes a great cough remedy. It's great for fevers. It's good for gut health. It's good for cardiovascular health. And so today we're going to make some fermented garlic. Making fermented garlic is very easy. You basically need 2 ingredients and a glass jar with the lid. So you need garlic, fresh garlic, and you also need honey. It is best if you use raw honey because that really helps with the fermentation process if you use raw honey. So the first thing we need to do is prepare our garlic. I use organic garlic because I'm going to leave the peels on, because the peels really have the bacteria that really helps to get a good fermentation started. So we're going to leave the peels on. Once you strain this in 4 weeks and take the garlic out, then you can peel the garlic and save that garlic and use it in cooking. It is just wonderful. Now, let's go ahead and get our garlic ready to use. So you take your knife and very carefully you start to separate the cloves out. And you drop them in. Now, some people crush their cloves, some people completely peel their cloves. I'm not going to do that. We're just going to use the garlic as it is and kind of just break it up a little bit in order to be able to use the garlic cloves. Remember, there is no right or wrong. Just do the best you can. And I'm going to trim off that end right there. And we just keep going till our jar is filled just a little more than halfway up with garlic cloves. So here you see, I have finished peeling my garlic, and I do have some of the papers there. But if you look in the jar, there are also some there. I wasn't real intentional about getting all of the peels off the garlic. Now we're ready for our honey. So I have my jar filled up about 2/4 away with the garlic. And now we just take our honey and we pour it on top. You want to pour some and give it a moment. See how it's kind of just going all down in there. You want to let it have a moment to do that. So pretty. Now, when you're filling the jar, you do not want to fill the jar all the way up to the top like you necessarily would if you were making a tincture. The reason for that being is this is going to ferment, meaning it's going to create bubbles. And so if you filled it all the way to the top, then as it ferments, it's going to bubble over and down. So you really want to only fill your jar up just to where the shoulder bends there in the jar. We're almost to that point. Now, when you put your lid on, you are not going to want to screw it on really tight, because if you screw it on tight, it could explode out, because this is going to ferment. It's going to create bubbles. So you want to loosely put your jar on. Now, it needs to go in a dark place for 4 weeks, at least 4 weeks. I would set it on, like in a cabinet, on a plate, a small plate, so if by chance during the fermenting process does start to bubble up and bubble over, it's not bubbling over into your cabinet, it's bubbling over onto the plate you have the jar set on. So at the end of the 4 weeks, what you're going to do is take your jar and you're going to strain it, take all the honey out and any of the peels that are left in there, and you're going to re-jar it into another jar with a lid, and then you can keep it in the refrigerator and use it for up to a year. Some people don't keep theirs in the refrigerator. I like to keep mine in the refrigerator because I live in a hot and humid place. So I want to ensure that I can use my fermented garlic honey as long as I can. So I keep it in the refrigerator once it is strained and has fermented. So as you see, our jarred garlic honey is placed in my fermenting cabinet and on a small plate. I have also dated my garlic honey so I know the day I made it, and I'll know when the 4 weeks are up. Remember, this is great to use if you have a cough or a cold or a fever. It's great if you want to take a teaspoon daily, put it in your tea for gut health. Nature is just wonderful and has provided us with many, many remedies that can help us when times we're not feeling great. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section and I'll be happy to get back with you. Until next time, may all you do be rooted in love.